In the wig line, traders sat behind wooden tables covered with colorful hairpieces, black curls, golden braids, shining straight wigs that caught the sunlight. At the far end, Madame Filomena adjusted the lace front display on her main mannequin. Her store was the largest in the row, with a bright umbrella and banners that read, Philomena Luxury Wigs, quality you can trust. She was a big woman, full in the hips. Her gold earrings caught the light with every movement. In this market, she wasn't just a trader, she was the law of the wig line. It had been that way for years. No one dared sell wigs near her store for long. Those who tried didn't last. Some packed up quietly and never came back. Some fell sick without explanation, and some lost their minds completely. The stories were whispered, never spoken loud. People said she had strong medicine working for her. Whether it was true or not, her space in the market stayed clear. That day, however, something unusual happened. By mid-morning, a young woman named Amara arrived with a small wooden table and a neat bundle of wigs wrapped in white clothes. She was in her early 20s, slender but strong, with skin the color of roasted granules and eyes that caught the light when she smiled. She moved quickly, spreading her wigs neatly, brushing each one with care, setting up a small hand mirror for customers. She greeted everyone who passed.
Good morning, Aunty Ngozi. How market, Mama Chika?
Her voice was warm, her smile even warmer. At first, traders from nearby stores watched in silence, pretending to be busy. But before long, people began stopping at Amara's table. Some admired her wigs, some sat for quick fittings, and one or two even bought on the spot. She laughed with customers, helping them adjust their wigs, and sometimes slipping in a playful comment that made them laugh too. From her store, Madame Filomena noticed. At first, she didn't look concerned. She had seen many come and go, but as the minutes passed, the sight of customers crowding a newcomer's table began to bother her. She stood up slowly and walked across the narrow aisle toward Amara. The chatter around them softened as eyes followed her every step. Amara looked away, smiling politely.
Good afternoon, madam.
Philomena's smile was tight.
Amara, is it?
She asked.
Yes, ma.
Amara replied. Philomena's voice was calm, but her eyes held something sharp.
I see you are new here. Let me give you advice. This place is not for just anybody. Some places in this market, if you sit there, you will not sleep well at night.
Amara straightened.
I paid for my space, ma. I'm just here to do my business.
Philomena's smile widened, but it didn't reach her eyes. She leaned closer, lowering her voice so only Amara could hear.
If you want to stay here long, pack your things before the sun goes down. I have seen young girls like you, and I have seen how they end.
Without waiting for an answer, she turned and walked back to her store. The gold on her ears swung with each step. Around them, the market noise returned, but the air felt heavier. Traders avoided Amara's eyes. Even the woman selling fried plantain beside her shifted uncomfortably. Amara swallowed hard but forced herself to keep walking. She adjusted her wigs, smiled at a passing customer, and pretended she hadn't just been warned. But deep inside, she knew the day had changed, and somewhere in the shadows of the wig line, the first thread of trouble had been pulled. The hours after Philomena's warning moved slowly. The heat of the day passed down on the market. Amara kept herself busy, combing through each wig and dusting them with a soft brush. She forced a smile at customers, but the sharpness in Philomena's words kept echoing in her head. A little before noon, things changed. It started as a faint dizziness, like she did stood up too quickly. She blinked, thinking it would pass, but instead her sight blurred. The faces around her became hazy, and the colors of her wigs seemed to melt together in a swirl. Her fingers felt heavy. She tried to pick up a comb, but it slipped through her grip. Sweat ran down her back despite the sudden coolness in the air. A strange coppery taste filled her mouth. Across the aisle, Philomena sat calmly, peeling an orange. Now and then, her eyes flicked towards Amara's store. She didn't speak. She didn't need to. A few customers who had been laughing with Amara moments earlier stepped back.
I'll come back later,
one murmured, avoiding her gaze. Another left without a word, clutching her bag tightly. From a distance, Mama Nneka watched. She sat at the corner, her grey wrapper gathered around her, a small basket of bitter cola in front of her. Her eyes didn't blink much, but they missed nothing. She had seen this before, the slow way life drained from a person until they gave up their store and never returned. Amara's knees wobbled. She grabbed the edge of her table for support. That was when young Chinedu from the radio store noticed her struggle. "Auntie Amara, are you okay?" he asked, worry on his face. Without waiting for an answer, he ran off and returned with a cold sachet of water. "Here, drink," he said, holding it out. Before her fingers could close around it, the sachet burst. The water splashed onto the dusty ground, forming a dark puddle that seemed to shimmer strangely in the sunlight. Amara stepped back instinctively, her heart pounding. The puddle didn't spread like normal water. It crept slowly towards her sandal, crawling at the edge like it was alive. Chinedu's eyes widened. He dropped the empty plastic and took a step back. Around them, a few traders muttered to themselves. Others shifted uncomfortably. No one moved to help. Amara's breath quickened. She bent down, grabbed a hanky, and wiped the edge of her sandal, where the water almost touched. Her grandmother's voice echoed in her mind. "Not every water is for drinking." When she straightened up, Filomena was looking directly at her. Their eyes met for only a second before Filomena smiled, slow, deliberate, and turned back to her orange. The dizziness faded as quickly as it had come, leaving Amara shaken but standing. She forced herself to keep arranging her wigs, even though her hands were still trembling. She knew now that Philomena's warning wasn't just words. Something had already begun, and from her corner, Mama Nneka pressed her lips together, her eyes never leaving Philomena. She had stayed silent once before, many years ago, but this time she was already thinking of what must be done. Sun was already sinking when Amara and her husband Obinna began packing for the day. The air in the market felt heavier than usual. Many traders had left early, and the narrow aisles were growing quiet. They loaded the last of the wigs into a wooden box and tied it with clothes. Obinna lifted it onto a small hand cart.
"Let's go,"
he said. Amara walked behind him, glancing over her shoulder now and then. Halfway down the lane, they heard footsteps behind them. The sound was steady and unhurried. Obinna stopped and turned. A tall man stepped out from between two stalls. His shirt was clean and pressed, his shoes polished. His face carried a calm smile.
"Good evening,"
the man said.
"My name is Mr. Ikenna. I handle wholesale business for Madam Filomena."
Neither Amara nor Obinna replied. Immediately, Mr. Ikenna continued.
"Madam Filomena asked me to speak with you. You are new here, and she understands you want to make a living. But this space is sensitive. To avoid trouble, she suggests you move your store to the far corner near the gutter. Customers go there too, and it will be safer for you."
Obinna's jaw tightened.
"We already have our space."
Mr. Ikenna nodded slowly, then reached into his pocket and brought out a thick brown envelope. He placed it on top of the cart.
"This is for you. Take it. Move your things tomorrow, and there will be no problem."
The market lane was silent except for the sound of a distant generator. Obinna opened the envelope slightly. It was full of cash, more than enough to pay rent for months. Amara stared at the money.
We don't need it,
she said quietly. Mr. Ikenna's calm smile didn't fade.
"Think carefully. This market remembers those who refuse easy paths."
He stepped back into the shadows, his footsteps fading until there was only silence. Obinna placed the envelope back on the cart.
"Let's go,"
he muttered. They had taken only a few steps when the cart jolted. The envelope slid to the ground, spilling open. The money inside began to twitch and curl, the paper folding unnaturally. In the next moment, it changed into a scattering of black cockroaches that skated in every direction, some climbing the cart wheels, others racing towards Amara's feet. She jumped back with a cry. Obinna kicked the envelope aside, but the insects kept crawling until they had finally scattered into the darkness. Neither of them spoke for the rest of the walk home. From a darkened store further up the lane, Mama Nneka had been watching. Her face was hard. She had seen enough to know things would not stop here. Next morning, the market was restless. Whispers moved from one store to another, carrying the events of the previous evening like wind. Some swore they had seen Mr. Ikenna in the lane after dark. Others claimed they had heard strange noises in the direction of Amara's home. Everyone knew trouble was building. Amara arrived early, her face set in quiet determination. She arranged her wigs neatly, ignoring the sideways glances from other traders. Not long after, Filomena came, her steps slow, her hair tie standing tall, gold earrings catching the sun. Mama Nneka, seated at her usual corner, watched both women closely. Before the morning passed, Chief Okore, head of the market committee, arrived with his walking stick. He was followed by a few committee members. His presence drew attention. Soon, a small crowd formed. Chief Okore cleared his throat.
We have heard there is tension in this section of the market.
He began.
This is a place of trade. There must be peace.
Amara stepped forward. Her voice was steady.
Chief, I am not here to cause trouble, but I will not leave the space I paid for.
Philomena smiled faintly.
Peace is important, Chief, but some spaces are not for everyone. Those who rush into deep water may not come back. One must pass through the crowd.
A woman in the front shook her head, sensing the challenge behind those words. Amara took a breath.
If Madam Philomena believes I have no place here, let the customers decide. Tomorrow, she and I will set up in the center aisle. Whoever sells more by the end of the day will keep her place without interference.
The crowd reacted immediately. Some gasped, others smiled with curiosity. It was rare for anyone to challenge Filomena openly. Philomena's eyes narrowed for a moment. Then she laughed softly.
Very well. Tomorrow we shall see whose hands the market favors.
Chief Okore hesitated.
Are you both sure of this?
We are,
Amara replied.
We are,
Filomena echoed. The committee members exchanged glances but said nothing more. The decision had been made. As the crowd began to disperse, Mama Nneka's eyes followed Philomena's back to her store. The older woman's mind was already turning. She knew contest in Umuoke market was rarely just about sales. Tomorrow, the center aisle would not only test skill, it would test faith. Morning came bright and clear. The center aisle of Umuoke market was already buzzing before the stores were fully arranged. Word had spread about the challenge and people came not only to buy but to watch. Amara arrived first, her table neatly set with polished mannequin heads and well-arranged wigs. Obinna stood nearby, helping to keep things in order. Mama Nneka positioned herself a short distance away, watching both sides. Filomena came later, walking slowly but with an air of confidence. Her store, larger and more decorated, was placed directly opposite Amara's. She greeted onlookers as if they were old friends, had gold earrings swaying with each nod. By mid-morning, the competition began in earnest. Customers drifted between the two tables. Philomena called out prices in a sweet tone, offering small discounts and praising her own products. Amara walked quietly, focusing on fitting wigs perfectly and giving each customer personal attention. At first, Philomena's table drew the bigger crowd, but something strange began to happen. One by one, customers who bought from her complained of sudden headaches or a tightness around the head when they tried on her wigs. A young woman removed hers quickly, saying she felt dizzy. Another stumbled back from the store, clutching her forehead. Some crossed over to Amara's table instead. Her fittings went smoothly, and customers left smiling. Slowly, the flow began to shift. Philomena's eyes hardened, though her smile remained fixed. She reached under her table and tapped twice on the wooden frame. A sudden gust of wind swept through the aisle, knocking over some of Amara's wig stands. A heavy sign above the aisle loosened and swung violently toward Mama Nneka, but it fell short, landing with a loud clang. By late afternoon, the result was clear. Chief Okore tallied the day's sales and announced,
The customers have chosen Amara.
Philomena's smile thinned, but she said nothing. She packed up slowly, her movements deliberate. Mama Nneka did not miss the glance Filomena gave Amara before leaving, a look that promised the matter was not over. That night, the market was dark and quiet. Amara and Obinna stayed later than usual to sort their goods. As they prepared to leave, footsteps echoed in the empty lane. Mr. Ikenna appeared, flanked by two men and a woman with a scarf covering her face. He spoke softly.
Madam Philomena sends her greetings. She says you should reconsider your decision to stay.
Obinna stepped forward.
We've made our choice. Leave us.
The men stepped closer, their shadows stretching in the lamplight. The woman with the scarf whispered something under her breath, and the air seemed to grow colder. From the far end of the lane, a cane struck the ground. Mama Nneka emerged, eyes sharp.
If you have come to cause trouble, you will meet trouble.
The two men hesitated. Mr. Ikenna's smile faded slightly.
This is not your fight, Mama.
It became my fight the day Uloma died,
Nneka replied firmly. The woman with the scarf stepped back. Without another word, the group turned and melted into the darkness. The market was silent again, but the warning was clear. Filomena was not finished. The next morning, the market was tense. Traders avoided lingering in the wig section, sensing that something was about to happen. Word of the late night's confrontation had reached many ears. Before the sun was fully overhead, two police officers entered the market with Chief Okorie and 3 committee members. Walking a short distance behind them was Mama Nneka, her face set with quiet determination. Their destination was clear, Madam Philomena's storehouse by the old mango tree. Philomena was already there, sorting cartons. She looked up as the group approached her.
So what do I owe this visit?
She asked smoothly. One of the officers stepped forward.
We received reports about certain activities connected to this storehouse. Please open it.
Philomena's smile didn't fade, but her eyes narrowed slightly.
I have nothing to hide.
She unlocked the heavy padlock and pushed the door open. The officer stepped inside. The first thing that greeted them was the faint, sharp smell of dried herbs mixed with something metallic. Shelves of wigs lined the walls. Beneath a table in the corner sat a small wooden box covered with a red cloth. An officer lifted the clothes. Inside were cowrie shells, feathers, small bottles filled with cloudy liquid, and several small clothes bundles tied with strings. One bundle had a silver cross tangled in the threads. Mama Nneka stepped forward. Her voice was low but steady.
That cross belonged to Uloma.
The air in the storehouse grew still. Philomena's smile finally faded.
Old women's stories,
she said quickly.
These are props, decorations, things my customers find interesting.
But the officers were already opening the other bundles. Inside were pieces of braided hair, scraps of fabric, and tiny wooden carvings shaped like heads, each marked with black ink. The lead officer turned to Philomena.
You will come with us.
Philomena's lips tightened. She glanced around as if calculating her next move. Then, without warning, a strong gust of wind slammed the storehouse door shut. Dust swirled at the officer's feet, and for a moment, the lights through the window dimmed. But Mama Nneka stepped forward and tapped her cane hard against the floor. The sound echoed unnaturally, loud in the small space. The air settled, the dust fell, and the door creaked open again on its own. Philomena's shoulders sagged. Her voice was quieter now.
I will go,
she said. Later that week, the market council announced that Philomena would no longer trade in Umuoke markets. She was ordered to pay fines, return stolen goods, and compensate families of traders who had been harmed. Her store in the wig line was given to a cooperative of younger vendors. With Philomena gone, the market atmosphere changed. Amara's store flourished, and new traders joined without fear. The wig section became lively again, full of chatter and laughter. Mama Nneka still sold her bitter cola at the corner, but she smiled more often now. And though people still told the story of Madam Philomena, they told it as a warning that no matter how high someone stands, the market will not bow to wickedness forever. Here's the moral of the story. Greed and envy destroy more than they protect. In trying to keep to all the markets to herself, Madam Philomena lost it entirely. Power gained through wickedness may last for a time, but it always ended in shame. True success comes from honest work and allowing others to grow beside you. Hello fam, thank you for watching through to the end of this video. Please consider subscribing to our channel if you are yet to do that. Like and share this video, and until we meet on our next story. Bye.